I'm Leslie. I'm a mom of 3 and a bunch of other things.
And I'm Candi. I'm a drag queen.
And we both like creating things, learning about stuff, and getting inspired by the world around us.
Yeah. And apparently I've got a big old dumper.
La la Leslie,
Sweet and sassy and smart.
and the drag queen. Yeah. La 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 Leslie, and the drag queen.
It's fine. I think it'll be all right.
You think it's
gonna
okay?
be all right. Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna hear some birds over here and some transformers, and you're gonna hear a little bone chewing over there.
But do you have Optimus Prime? Because if you have
I-
Transformers,
Yeah, I think it's one of the lesser transformers. It's
like
like the one
Bumblebee.
it's the one that turns into a garbage truck.
it's the cheap, knockoff version. Like,
It's I think his name was just Dumpster. Just Dump. Yeah, Dumper. Dumper.
Dumper.
That's it.
I love
I
that guy.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
from Bambi. No, isn't that don't some people call that I call a butt a dumper? I know dumper is a term.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've heard
Terrible. It's just terrible to say, but I love it.
I was thinking, let's just pretend like they don't. But you're like, I love it. So you can live in two alternate realities. It's all right.
So the Merriam-Webster just says, oh, his career is in the dumper. So I guess
Yeah.
same as a dumpster.
I think that dumpster is a company. I think that's why they have to say that, because whenever you see it written kind of officially, like in an article or something, it's capitalized dumpster.
I'm also realizing that it has so many definitions online. Like there are all these slang things.
Like dumpster fire.
It can though refer to it says here a big butt.
Oh, see, you
And
knew.
And then it gives gives an example sentence. That girl has a dumper. Sounds terrible. And
That's
then
in the Marriott, like in the Webster dictionary?
No. I had to dig a little deeper. That was just
like Urban Dictionary or something.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like your career's in the dumper. And then it also said, like, I guess a dumper could also just be one who dumps.
Okay.
I'm like, what kind of dump are we talking about here? But maybe any kind,
A dumper. To dump. Dumpear. I don't know.
You're like, where's George? Oh, that dumper. Where do you think he is?
But like everybody's a dumper, it's just like that
From time to time.
kids book, everybody poops. So
Hopefully it also says here, a dumper can refer to, it's the same. A relatively large ass. It has relatively underlined though. I don't understand that. But this is clearly not Merriam-Webster because I don't think they say ass in definitions on Webster.
no, but there's
Unless they're referring
nuances
to a donkey. Everybody's talking about butts one way or another.
Hey everybody, we want to welcome you to Leslie and the Drag Queen, where we just jumped right in and started talking about poop and butts. And we're so glad that you joined us.
We're a very young podcast. We're still in the anal phase. I'm sure we'll grow out of it.
We're obsessed with the potty talk. Yeah, that is true. We are a baby podcast. We are just getting started, and
Gaga goo goo.
that's right. Lady Gaga and Papa
And
Goo
Lady-
Goo.
And Papa Goo
I
Goo.
don't-
Oh no.
No, that doesn't work.
That's right up there with Dumper.
Papa Goo Goo has a big dumper.
Papa Goo Goo and the Dumpers. I mean, that could be, it's like the Goo Goo Dolls and Hootie and the Blowfish in one band.
They're going to be playing some casino in Louisiana.
Except
next
they're
year.
all parodies of songs by those artists.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would
Because
be
they have to
really-
be funny.
Yeah, you can't take yourself seriously with the name like, what was it? Papa and the Goo Goos?
Papa Goo Goo and the Dumpers.
Papa Goo Goo and the Dumpers, right. I'll get it by the time their third album comes out.
Yeah,
They
I'm
strike it
picturing
big.
like kind of a Tenacious D vibe.
Oh, okay. Like really just totally not just a little wink wink, we're cute and funny, but just all in all.
All out. All
Silly.
out. Very,
I,
very silly.
I can get
This
behind
is the
that.
second time I've brought up Tenacious D, a
Yes.
group that I have never seen perform or watched the movie of. Like
Right.
I could be talking about a sports figure. I mean, I mean, I don't know. I'm just
You
guessing
just
based
love
on,
Tenacious D.
I love the name, you know.
It
And I
is a good
love
name.
and I love a Tenacious D, honestly. It's just, I just,
You
when
don't
they
want a
just,
timid one. It needs to
no,
be
I don't want some can't make up your mind D. I want
right.
like,
Tenacious. It's going to stick through
it's,
thick and thin.
it's gonna stick right through the fabric of your pants. No, it's gonna stick.
No. Hold on a second,
Oh
Tenacious
no,
D. Give me a
no.
damn minute.
Just slow down. Yeah, I want something I can bat away. I want something I could be like, no, you
No,
know.
Tenacious D. No. I was called Tenacious, not D, thankfully, but Tenacious in an interview one time. And I had to go home and this was before Google. And I guess I got out a dictionary. I don't know what I did, but I was like, I probably asked my mom, what is tenacious? Is that good? Because the only thing I think it was right around the time of Tenacious D. And this, lady who ended up being my boss said, well, I think you're very tenacious and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, is this good? Or was she telling me to fuck off? No, it's good. I got the job.
Oh, you did get the job.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I love that.
But I
You
just
got to
didn't
be
know.
tenacious when it comes to jobs, because what you realize as you move up in the world is that the people that are hiring people are just like the other people. They want to go home and they just can't stand the shit either.
Yeah.
And they're not thinking about you or even the job most of the time. So you gotta like remind them that you're there and that they need to give a job to someone. And you're like, hey, let me make life easier for you.
That's right.
Give me the job.
Yes, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like I heard someone, a vocal coach, talking about getting ready for auditions and thinking of it as you want to be a solution to their problem. Like, here I am, you know that you got to fill this part, so just give it to me. Let's just all wrap this all up. It's the same
Yeah.
for a job interview.
Exactly.
And that's your LinkedIn sponsored job hunting advice from Candi and Leslie, everybody.
That's right. Go get you a job.
So just be tenacious.
That's LinkedIn's new slogan now. Get a job.
Get you a job.
Get you a job. Well, okay, it's up between two. It's either get you a job or get a job, bub.
Oh, that's too mild. Get a job, bub. That sounds like something your grandma would say. But
it's retro. Yeah, no, I think the first one is probably better.
Yeah, get you
a job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving it. Get you a job.
They can't do that. They can't do
no. I'm just saying it's that caliber of slogan.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, whoever wrote that for them was doing great. Well, look, it is
okay, sorry. Stop.
You can't eat until you get you a job.
Oh, that's God.
Can't eat fresh or otherwise.
I hope I get a job that will afford me better than Subway, honestly.
I just had some. No, I won't get into it. Okay. Because we're trying to keep it tight here.
Oh, right. Okay,
Right.
guys, we're keeping it tight in 2023. It's now a new year. We're a week and a couple days.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
You know what? I feel like I already need a restart. Like somehow what happened was I started getting online too much with all of the Speaker of the House drama. And I'm really into politics. I'm very whatever, stay up to date to all that. But I try to balance it and not follow too much because it'll just make you depressed as hell.
Right.
And so, but I was really following that closely, the whole drama with Kevin McCarthy and the 20 extremists that were keeping him, whatever, just that whole clusterfuck. And the other day I told my husband, I was like just making dinner or something and kind of staring off into space. And he's like, what's going on? And I was like, I've lost all faith in humanity. already. It's like December. I mean, January 7th, like you
Oops.
still be. And I was like, I think I'm on Twitter too much. I need to get off. And so I tried to pull back a little bit, and that has helped because, yeah, woo, it's too much.
No, I know that is too much. It's a good thing that I don't have the patience to read anything. So I don't get caught up in those kind of esoteric writhings.
Writhing. I was writhing quite a bit. The problem is, though, that of course there are all these, analysis from pundits that you can read and stuff, but so much of the stuff on Twitter is really fun. Like
I know.
like there are all these little quips or people doing satirical commentary on it, and you get sucked in with that because it's amazing, and it helps you feel not so alone and not so crazy. Like, oh, they're the crazy ones, not me. But then you just keep digging more and more, and eventually you get to the
and eventually you're reading comments and it's getting you all triggered, and you're like, fuck you, and you're like fantasizing about going to somebody's house and blowing up their mailbox with a turd, with a inflatable turd. Well, I don't even know what I'm saying now.
Yes.
Okay. I have weird fantasies. Blowing up mailboxes with inflatable turds.
That seems very realistic to me.
That seems like that's me all over right there.
How about your 2023 so far?
Oh, well, it's been a kind of freaking amazing, actually. It's like, okay, so I did an event on New Year's Eve, which I got to wear this fabulous outfit for this goddess outfit that I told you about with the underboob.
Yes.
And
you got to debut your underboob. That went well.
Yes,
everything worked out with the costume.
It went well for about the first half of me wearing it, and then like either my silicone breastplate kind of shifted down, like forward, or the bathing suit was riding up, but I could not keep my nipples covered. Like they were just popping out like constantly. And
you had a Janet Jackson moment.
I was standing there taking like step and repeat pictures with people and not realizing that they are taking pictures with this woman with her boobs out. Yeah. So then I did a costume change after that. I was just like, I can't with this. But once I got like the outfit off and looked in the mirror, like seriously, my tits were like down at my waist. I was like, this is not the look. This is not, I know this is realistically how a woman my age would look, but I get to choose.
Right. That's right. That is not the idea of this fantasy here.
No.
You're not trying to be Carol from down the road.
Those boobs. But they were so hot. They're so sweaty and hot and awful.
Yeah.
I mean, silicone.
I can't imagine. And you said it went up to your neck last time.
Yeah, it goes up to my chin.
No. Did you? But so then you couldn't kiss them at midnight like I told you to because you'd taken them off.
Too. Oh, my boobs. Right. I could kiss them if I could feasibly probably have done it. No, wait, did I change before midnight? I think I did. I was there for a couple hours in the white, and then I was like, all right, enough with this. Plus, the headdress was driving me bonkers.
But it was so pretty.
It was beautiful, but you have to like walk erect. You have to be like straight up and down.
Yeah. I can see how that would be a pain to carry that thing around. It's gorgeous.
It was the worst was when it would slip forward, is because it has like this like kind of outer part. It's almost like that head thing that they wear on the X-Men, like how Professor X finds all the mutants, except it had all the shit on top that like made it slip forward, and then like the middle part that came down would like bonk me on the nose, like it would swoosh me right in the face, and I did not like it.
People don't know the things that you go through.
They do not know.
It's
Plus,
just
your face is basically like a chalk painting, and it will smudge.
That's right.
It will wipe right off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's only so much setting spray that can help a thing rubbing on there over and over and over again. Yeah,
exactly. Or just getting mashed in the face once. That's enough to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
2023, we're off and running. You're ready for a
yes,
restart.
I am. I
And
am.
New Year's, amazing, super fun. But yesterday,
Mhm.
Leslie, I gave birth. Like,
That's right.
I have now birthed a new drag daughter into the world. It's official. She
Uh-huh.
like fully manifested and performed for the first time, Miss Tara Way.
And did
Um,
amazing from the looks of it. She
yeah.
just looked like she nailed it.
Yeah, she's a huge newborn though. She really was. I had to have a
Oh,
full episiotomy. It's terrible. And
are you sitting on a donut right now
I
for the
am
stitches? I've been there, girl.
it is a donut down there. That's what I'm telling you. It's just like it's like when you're waiting for your luggage at the airport and it has to come through those like flaps, you know, the little
Yeah,
flaps kind of flap over your luggage as it comes out of the chute. That's pretty much what's going on.
you're just kind of flapping, but it's
It's
all
just
worth it
flaps.
because now you have your new drag baby.
Right. And I found all this luggage that I didn't know I had.
You had been wondering where that pair of shoes was, so there you go.
I thought Hawaiian Airlines lost this. Turns out it was just in my TARDIS vagina, bigger on the inside.
Okay, so just to be serious for a second,
Yes.
because I was trying to explain this to my son. We were watching y'all documented the whole process on Instagram of getting ready, and it was neat to watch because it was really almost like in real time that we were watching it.
Oh, that's
And
so cool. I'm so happy y'all were there with me.
yeah, it was really cool. And so I was explaining to him the concept of drag daughters, but I was limited in my knowledge. I was like, there's daughters and then there's granddaughters. So explain to me again how one becomes a drag daughter, like how you have a drag daughter.
So basically, you become someone's drag daughter just because you both agree to it. But
Okay.
what it means for you could be different things depending on who your drag mother is. And for me, all of my other drag daughters have come to me already kind of pretty much fully formed. Like they had already started drag in some way, shape, or form and already were thinking about their persona and their name and all this stuff. And I guess I helped a little bit with Anna's name. But with Tara, she's the first baby I've ever had where I have taught her everything.
Yeah.
This baby, I'm talking about this 40-year-old man. And this little baby newborn who's just learned to walk in stiletto bumps. Oh my God. And that was the funniest part. And I know she's probably going to hear this, but she fell not once, but twice. Once at the very top of the show and once again at the end. And both times wearing the same pair of heels and spinning around on one foot and both times just going down on her big padded butt and was fine. Like was saved by the big padded butt. But
Thank God for the butt padding, natural or otherwise. I
the
saw
first
y'all on
time I was
Instagram.
really worried. And the second time, I think I just rolled my eyes. I was just like, not again.
We're not doing this again.
But she killed it. She absolutely slayed. And I think even the falling, people thought it was planned.
Right.
They thought the falling was like her deal. I was like, well, I mean, maybe
Maybe it
death
is now.
spins are your maybe that's your signature move. A death spin. You just spin around and fall on your butt.
That's very toddler-like. It's like ring around the rosies. Well, that's really exciting.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. But I'm gonna take a breath.
Mhm.
Because I know I'm gonna come back to Tara.
Okay.
And
We'll get back
I'm
to
not
her
talking
later.
about where Scarlett O'Hara is from. No, not that Tara.
No.
It's a different one.
Not the Red Earth of Tara, although she did have a red wig on.
She did have a
curly
red wig.
cues.
That's right. She's a redhead.
Super cute. Well, it is time to take a breather because this is the last episode of this season.
That's
for us.
right.
Yes. We're on episode 8. We decided we would just start off with these 8 episodes for the first season and kind of see
We're
where
like,
we
why
go
not?
from there.
Let's do 8 and see what happens.
That's right. And it has been so fun. It has been I don't even know what the word is because we've gotten so much great feedback. We've had such a great time together and we've learned so much.
And
It's been awesome.
Yeah, and I really feel like I have grown from the experience, you know,
Yeah, me
like that
too.
I've experienced some growth and some like, you know, just kind of staying on top of like keeping this going, you
Mhm.
know, if a producer wants to step in and like take care of all the details for us, I
Yeah,
mean,
for real. Yeah, in all seriousness, that may be something we need to think about for season 2 so that we can put out even more content. That would be really fun. To be able to kind of hand over some of the technical reins to someone else and let us do our thing and come out a little more frequently, maybe. Who knows?
exactly. I'm ready to make this my job.
That's right. But yeah, if listeners out there, if you have any input for us about what you want to see in season 2, because we did a few different types of things this season. We had some deep dives, we've had a couple guests, we've had just kind of some random grab bag type of stuff like we're going to have today. So let us know what you're liking and what you'd like to see more of. You
Plus our
can
segments, don't forget
That's
those.
right. The segments, the humiliation station, keep making shit. I think we've done a couple of creativity hacks. So you can email us at leslieandthedragqueen@gmail.com or send us a message through any of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And
And
let us know what
please
you think.
subscribe, rate us, review us.
Yes, that's going to be really important since we're taking a bit of a break. If you don't want to lose track of us, you better subscribe right now so that you'll be ready when the next episode of season 2 comes out.
Yeah, you tell us you want more and we will bring more, honey, because we are attention whores. And if no one's paying attention, then we're gonna ditch it.
We're gonna
But
shrivel up and die. No, we'll move on to our next
that's right. We'll find
source.
another way to get attention.
We're like attention whores / vampires. But vampires are very whorish, at least on What We Do in the Dark. So,
Yeah,
or
I mean,
what we do in the dark, what they do. Wait, what is it? What they do in the
what
shadows?
we do in the shadows.
What we do in the shadows. Shit, whatever it is.
I love it. What they do in the dark.
It is dark in the shadows.
That's another show, Leslie. That is a totally different show. What they do in the dark. It's like kids talking about sex. That's what it sounds like to me. It's like, I don't know what happens in there, but something weird, and I don't want anything to do with it.
Whatever they do in the dark stays in the dark. I don't want to.
What they do in the dark, stay far away from that. Okay.
Well, let's jump into
Let's
today's
not
show.
talk about kids and sex in the same sentence. How about I'm just gonna make that a personal rule. Just
Yeah.
gonna keep those in separate paragraphs, even.
But I'll talk about that kids and sex real quick just because my youngest said something really funny yesterday. I put it on Instagram, but she was getting ready for bed and stuff, and she told me, "Mom, you know how," she's 8, by the way. "Mom, you know how there's like millions of bugs and organisms and stuff that live all over us?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, what if they're just like doing it on you?" And I was like, it took me, I kind of was like, oh my God. And then I remembered that exact line had come from this video she'd watched from one of her favorite YouTubers. And I was like, you don't even know what that means. You don't know what doing it means. You just saw that on a video. And she goes, yeah, I do. I know what that means. I was like, oh shit, here we go. I was like, what? And she goes, it means doing number 1 or number 2. And she's like, right? And I'm like, yes. Yep, that's exactly right.
Oh my gosh, that is
Terrifying,
so funny.
but
know.
cute, but
Just
all the
your
things.
reaction is the funniest part. That is, you're like, yes,
Yes,
that's exactly what it is.
totally is. You got me. And she's like, I can't believe you think I didn't know that. Like, I've known that for a long time.
Oh boy, yeah. I'm not sure which scenario is more disturbing. Is it like teaching kids about sex, or is it kids thinking that sex is pooping and peeing on each other? Now, how crazy is that? You're talking about going number 1 and number 2, and immediately my dog runs in here and has to go number 1 and number 2.
He knew.
He did them both. He knew. He's like, oh, I think that's my cue.
He's a smart boy.
It's Pavlovian response, I think. Now I've got to go. No, I'm kidding. I don't.
Tell those jelly beans they have to wait.
No. I got all the jelly beans out of my system way earlier.
Good. Well, okay, let's jump on into this episode. We have a little bit of a grab bag because I had the idea that maybe we could share 3 things with each other. And we're going to share a sweet thing, a sassy thing, and a smart thing with each other. And just see what happens. Do you have your sweet, smart, and sassy things ready, Candi?
Well, I wasn't exactly, I hope I understood the assignment. Because I'm just, I'm just responding to the words and just kind of, I was just thinking about like things that have happened, recently. And is that okay?
Yeah, that's kind of what,
okay.
And I may not have described it very well in my half awake message earlier, but so let's start with sweet.
Yeah, this is all just coming from my personal life. That is
totally good.
And all 3 of mine are really going to be about the same thing, but different aspects of the same thing.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, I think that'll work. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Am I going first or you going first?
You go first. Share something sweet.
Well, great. And then I get to find out just how wrong I did the assignment.
Or I can go first if you want.
No, it's probably better this way.
Okay.
So on the sweet end, that makes me think about this past week and working with my husband, Joseph, and with my host body's husband, Joseph. So complicated.
I know it is.
And with my new drag daughter on all this stuff, and like having Dawn come over, and like Dawn is his boy name, and like cutting out the butt pads and just working on the songs, like helping him figure out all the stuff, and really was like a crash course in drag. And so I don't know, it was just really sweet, and that's really super sweet. I really feel a real family connection. And so
that's awesome.
And it was just awesome. We were all part of it. Even the dog, even Toby was just like, he was an integral part of the whole process.
Oh, it's probably upset he missed the show. You got to see all the behind the scenes.
I'm sure. Yeah. He's the sight line is pretty low. I don't know. He might not be able to catch it anyway from his vantage point.
So how long did it take for y'all to put all that together from start to finish, you think?
It took he probably started buying stuff 2 months ago, but we really did all the stuff in 3-4 weeks.
Wow. That's a lot. I was thinking, I don't know. I thought somewhere in that time frame, but dang, that's pretty fast and furious.
And Tara debuted and people were like, this is her first time. It was, she's still glowing. She's still glowing.
It's awesome. Yeah. Love it. That is very sweet. Very,
Even
very
the
sweet.
soreness in her bottom just reminds her of happy times. It's just
those little snafus are the things though that you do end up remembering, and that's probably one of the scariest things that you can imagine happening, falling on stage, and for it to happen twice and survive, and it's fine, and for the audience to think it's part of the show, that's ideal. You already got it out of the way, first time, first time out, and you're golden now.
To me, what I told her, I was like, I think you couldn't have better luck. It's like the bird shit on your head. It's like, oh, let's get this out of the way right now. And also get out of the way the fears of that happening. Like you said, let's let's just let you know right off the bat that you can't really mess this up.
Right.
Even if you fall on your ass, it still may be an incredible performance if you get back on the horse.
Yes. But I think just
the
nature of drag.
We're never going to have horses in the show again. This is the last time. Nightmare.
Horses and stilettos. I just can't see that mixing.
Tara, get back on the horse and do the rest of your number.
That's right. You're like Mama Rose on her. Get back out there. Yeah, I can somewhat relate to that. I wasn't in stilettos, but one time I fell off the stage. It was a very small stage, but I kind of, stepped off. I couldn't see, the lights were in my eyes, and I kind of stepped off. And this was like, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago, somewhere around there. So it wasn't like that long ago.
How far was the fall?
I don't know. It was like maybe a foot or two. It wasn't that bad. Like I was able to catch myself, but I was in the middle of a dance that was kind of complicated. And thankfully it was a lighter show. It was like a Christmas cabaret type thing. And so I just kind of, used it and laughed and was like, made a face at the audience. Like, yep, that just happened. I kept singing, kept dancing, and that was it. But I've been performing my whole life, and I was always afraid of like, what would happen if I fell or I fell off the stage or whatever. And it was like, well, now I know. I just used it and I got nothing.
Exactly.
You just keep going and it is fine.
And you might even get a laugh.
I think I did.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
He's just determined to participate in the conversation.
Hey, no, we're not doing that.
But yeah, I think I did get a little laugh, and it's like, you move on and it's all good.
If you were keeping yourself from being creative because you might fall on your ass, just stop that right now and just fall on your ass, like right off the bat, because it's great, actually.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a giant foam butt on, it's no biggie.
No biggie. All right, okay. I'm going to share my sweet thing with you now.
Yes, I want to hear your sweet.
So I was kind of trying to think of something sweet for my life, like you'd mentioned, and there were a few things, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to kind of go really literal with this and share an actual sweet recipe that I discovered lately. I had bought these frozen cherries at the store, and I was wanting to find a smoothie recipe with cherries because I was like, that I could just make up something, but I would rather do something that I know is going to work. I'm not super adventurous when it comes to recipes. But yeah, like I've been trying to eat more fruit and stuff in the new year and just be a little bit healthier. And I like a good smoothie for breakfast. So I found this one that was so easy, and it was good. And it tasted like a milkshake almost. It was really good. So I'm going to put it in the show notes, but I'll just I'll give you the rundown real quick.
I'm like, I want it right now.
I know. No, I'll tell you. So you just do a cup of frozen cherries and a banana. And then this is the part that was really good. You do 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. What? That was so yummy. Just straight up like baking cocoa powder. Okay. And then a little cinnamon and a cup of any kind of milk you want. The recipe called for oat milk, but I just used plain old dairy. And then you just blend it up, and that's it. I think the recipe,
it's like cherry chocolate.
Yes. But like you don't have all that sugar like you would have with chocolate. There's just sugar from the fruit.
No added sugar. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. It
was wonderful. Yeah. And it actually made enough for like 2 smoothies. So I was able to give my daughter.
I'll drink them both.
Okay. You don't want to share. But yeah, that was such a great, I don't always want something sweet in the morning, but sometimes I do. And smoothies are usually going to be sweet. So that was perfect to take as I was running out the door, and it felt so, I don't want to say bad because it's not good to label food as good or bad, but it felt bad.
Yeah.
But it was healthy. So that is my sweet.
I can't wait to try it.
Yeah. It's yummy, yummy. All right. Let's move on to Sassy.
The 3 S's, triple S.
Yes.
S squared.
S cute.
Sweet, sassy, smart. Next we have Sassy. Ding.
Ding. I just expected some girl named Sassy to come out like, hey.
Next we have Sassy Dubois. Welcome to the stage, Sassy Dubois. Take a turn. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going back and talk about my little drag baby again.
Yes.
So Sassy, I want to talk about this number that she did where she took a Mary Poppins costume that had like, it had like a separate jacket and a little separate belt on top of like a kind of a blouse thing with a skirt. And she sewed it all together and then cut the whole thing down the back and the front. And sewed all these snaps into it but it lays like perfect, like it doesn't look like it's held together with snaps. It looks like just a regular garment. So she did this number and had two guys come up, grab her two sleeves and rip the thing off of her. So she goes from Mary Poppins to a dominatrix. And
Oh,
in this little like black vinyl, like kind of bathing suit kind of thing.
yeah.
And it was so legendary. It was so sassy because I didn't know Tara had it in her. And the song that she did, it still is sticking with me. But I'm going to talk about that in my last segment called Smart.
This is nice. This has like a little thread running through, and what a cool experience that can be all three at once.
Yay!
Sweet, sassy, and smart.
It's just what's on my mind. And I feel like I'm just like, I have so much love for this person today of all days, because we just had this experience yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm living in appreciation.
I love it. I mean, it does not get much more sassy than Mary Poppins turning into a dominatrix.
Right. Because Mary Poppins herself is pretty darn sassy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not going to have any nonsense.
She is not. I was rewatching that recently, and I'm like, wow, she gaslights the fuck out of those kids. And I remember loving that movie as a kid. But
like how she's like, oh yeah, like she takes them on all these adventures, and then she's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. They're like, oh,
That's
can we go and ride on the carousel again? She's like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
go to bed. It's like, shit. That's
Here,
so
I'll
cool.
sing this song and maybe it'll make you fall asleep.
Right. I'm going to sing about the old bird lady. You're going to be
such a melancholy song, but I do love all of that music.
I know. You know what? It's so serendipitous that we're talking about this, because Wendy, who we had on episode 6, I think. Yeah, on 6, Wendy Liebman, her father-in-law was one of the ones that wrote all that music.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the Sherman brothers who
I love that.
I know, it's amazing.
Oh, and he got portrayed, right, in that movie with Emma Thompson and is it Tom Hanks? The one that's about the lady that wrote the books of Mary Poppins.
Oh, I didn't see that
Disney
movie.
Oh, you got to see it. I think it's like something Mrs. Banks, like serving Mrs. Banks. No, that's not it. But
Saving Mrs. Banks.
Maybe that's it. And it's all about like basically Walt Disney like charming her into giving up the rights to her story. But you meet the songwriting duo. So
there you go.
So her dad is actually portrayed in a movie.
Her father-in-law. Yeah, that's so
her father-in-law.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, that's just more sweet to add to the episode. You ready for my sassy?
I want to hear your sassy.
Oh my gosh. This one is going to be an audio visual. I'm going to cue it up and then I'll tell you about it. So it is audio visual, but it's going to work great for just the audio if people have not seen this clip by now. So I'm going to screen share so that you can see this. I'll preface it by telling you, this is the beginning of the Miss World pageant. I guess it's from this year. I don't know. I used to love all that stuff when I was little. I used to love watching those pageants, but I don't really keep up with it anymore. I didn't even know there was still a Miss World. But
no,
these are all the contestants introducing themselves at the beginning and saying their country.
Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. I feel like I'm right in your house. I'm like on your desktop. Here we go.
Costa Rica, Croatia, Curacao, Czech Republic, Denmark, República Dominicana, Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, Finland.
Oh no! Oh, what? What happened to France? I mean, they're all a little ridiculous.
They are completely.
But what it was like France was so like had been in line for so long, And like all these girls were getting more and more hyped up, like saying their country name. And then like
Yes.
they just got to her and she just screamed it. She screeched.
You
It was
can't
like,
I had to rewind it a few times and be like, what did she say? Oh, it's France. My
just
God.
like, wow.
That poor girl. She had
That
to
was a lot of buildup. That was a lot of buildup for a
No, I
joke,
know.
but I appreciated it. I know I like a joke with a long buildup.
The whole thing is ridiculous, having them scream their countries like that anyway, and very
Oh.
sassy, some of them.
Yes, I mean like some of those like Costa Rica, like it
Oh
was just
yeah.
like, wow, she is rolling the crap out of that R.
She's like, I am letting you have it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine that poor girl had to then go and compete for the rest of the time after saying
Maybe
that?
that's just how she talks. It might just be her thing.
No.
She's
Because
like,
her little face afterwards, she's like, oh God.
oh, she's like, that's not quite what I meant to do.
She just got too excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh, poor Miss France. First the World Cup.
Miss
Yes, they lost to Argentina. It was
well,
so first that, and then now their Miss World messes up. They just can't catch a
disgrace.
break, but they still
Okay,
got baguettes.
let's just slow down on the anti-France. We don't want to lose those French fans.
All two of our French fans are thoroughly pissed.
Hey, we
They're
love
like,
y'all too. Avec
do.
moi. No, je t'aime.
Voulez-vous coucher avec
Leslie,
moi?
please, let's not have any indecent proposals on this. You're a married woman.
I'm just repeating the lyrics to Lady Marmalade. That's
You're
it.
like, I just want him to get in bed with me. I didn't say we had to do anything.
That's right.
Oh no, is it sleep? Coucher.
I
Isn't
don't
that like go to bed? Is it like a couch or like a?
I don't know. They do not
Well,
cover
I
this
just
on
want him to sit on
Duolingo.
the couch with me, honestly. Like, is that too much to ask?
Couche, like couche. Take me in a coupe de ville. I don't know.
But you're going to take that in a totally different
I
direction.
know
Okay.
you did. That's because you're dirty. But I
Well,
did not go there.
well, I appreciate that.
But we are in the sassy segment, so I'll allow it.
Sassy. Well, cooch. Poosh poosh in the cooch, y'all.
All right. Before we get to what's the last one? Smart. Before we get to smart.
That was a perfect introduction. What's that last one called again?
What is it? Oh,
All
smart.
right, smart.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't think of it. Perfect.
What's your smart story to share, Candi?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a great subject to ask me about because I know all about smart stuff. I know from experience because I am smart.
You are
And
smart. You're
I am
very
smart.
savvy and smart about all sorts of things.
Yes, I'm savvy. I'm smart. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and
doggone it.
people tolerate
Ooh.
me. So my final concluding thing that I'm going to say about
Mhm.
Miss Tearaway is that she wrote all of the songs that we did for this show. Like they're all parody songs, but she wrote the words for all of them.
Wow.
And then when we started working, because like a couple of them were duets for us. And she wrote the whole thing. And of course, like I'm pushy and egocentric. So I had to come in and like change some stuff to suit myself.
Yeah.
But no, like we have different strengths. But she is just so dang smart. And one of the songs that she wrote, the one that she did for the Mary Poppins number, is that song from Hamilton that the King does. Do you know that soundtrack?
You'll Be Back.
Yes.
I love that one.
And but it's on your back. And it's like basically to the client from the dominatrix.
Oh.
But in this Julie Andrews voice.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll send you the song. But like I just caught myself all day today just like walking around and singing parts of that song and just thinking, those lyrics are so damn smart. That is so good.
That is hard, especially with a song like that, that the original just sticks in your head so much because it was so great. To come up with something new, it's tricky.
Absolutely.
She sounds very smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to send you the song. You're going to love it.
I can't wait to hear it.
Okay. Tell me you're smart.
Oh my God, I'm kind of embarrassed. 'Cause I went full on nerd here.
Oh, good.
This was like,
Honey, somebody's got to be the brains of this operation, and it ain't me.
but it's fitting with what we talk about here though, which is why I shoehorned it in here. But I heard it literally maybe 45 minutes after I texted you this morning. So it was just kismet.
What?
Crazy. I heard it on this podcast that I love called Being Well. And it's really about like psychology and well-being. It's a father and son duo that the dad is a psychologist and a Buddhist. I don't know, like he's really into meditation and all this kinds of stuff. He's really, really zen. And then his son is, I guess he's in his 30s and he's kind of the one that runs the podcast, but they do this together and they talk about all these really deep topics. And so this time they had a couple guests on, and one of the guests was really into Abraham Maslow, like from Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right.
And they were talking about all this in the context of happiness and kind of how we're all always pursuing happiness and worried about like, oh, I'm not happy enough. Like I need to change this and that. And he dug up this old unpublished essay of Maslow from 1964 called The Psychology of Happiness. And here's the quote that he pulled out in the podcast. Maslow said, "We must learn to give up happiness as a goal of life. It is a privilege of human existence to have worthwhile pain." And what he means by worthwhile pain sounds very much like what you went through with Tara this weekend. Childbirth, loving others, even though you suffer by loving someone, like, you suffer through the things they suffer through, or when you lose them eventually, being tortured over your craft, like all of those he calls worthwhile pain. Good living and happiness must be redefined to include such instances of what he calls miserable privileges. Perhaps we can define happiness as experiencing real emotions over real problems and real tasks. And that's my little smart quote.
That is beautiful, Leslie.
But it just reminded me of creating things. Like there's so many ways you could apply that, right? But it kind of reminded me of in the context of, for me, writing. I put out this newsletter every month, and it's just this silly, fun thing that you can sign up for on Substack, by the way, lesliegard.substack.com.
Yes,
And
sign up.
yeah, it's great. I have fun with it, but it becomes this really stressful thing in my mind just to write a fun little essay that's going to make people laugh. It just becomes like almost like an existential, I don't know what, problem for me. And that quote kind of reminded me that like, that's essentially a good problem to have. That's part of it. That's the problem, that it's a privilege to have that burden of the stress of creation, because at the end of the day, you're getting to put something out in the universe. You're getting to use your talents. And like, that is what happiness and living your life well is all about.
Well, that is just, I couldn't agree more. And that is so beautiful. And I'm so glad that you brought that to the show. And I love the different ways that we interpreted the prompt.
Yes, that was kind of fun. Like that we did it in our own way.
It's kind of like the falling on your ass metaphor too. It's like, what's the worst that could happen? You do something totally outside the box.
Completely.
Guys, this is our final episode of season 1.
That's
season
right.
1 of Leslie and the Drag Queen. There will never be another season 1.
Never again, but there will be a season 2 not too far in the distant future. So keep an eye out. Before we get out of here, though, we got to do a quick keep making shit.
Oh, I love it.
Here comes the music.
Keep making shit.
You better make it.
Make it.
All right, Candi, I think we all know what you made this week. Or
Yeah.
over not just this week.
She was germinating for a while. She
She
was.
was.
What? Oh my gosh. I was just thinking, Dawn and I had a conversation. Well, Dawn and Dan Paul had a conversation months and months ago, maybe a year ago,
Mhm.
maybe more, but it was about this whole thing. That's where we came up with Tara's name, and it set wheels in motion. And I think that
Oh.
in some ways, she really has been gestating for a long time and finally came to term.
I mean, every creation is like that. It's like a birth. It could be a huge one like this, like something that
Totally.
takes so much time and energy to germinate and gestate, or it can just be a little birth, but it really is something that takes time to come out.
Exactly. And you don't know what's happening in your subconscious. There's bunches of little snowballs rolling down hills up in there that are getting
You
ready to
never know what's going to
bust
happen.
out.
Yes.
But you got to listen. You got to listen
You got,
to your mind.
yes. Yeah. And it has to be quiet enough for you to hear
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Or it'll go away. All right. Well, you want to hear about what I made this time?
I sure do.
Okay. So my twins are applying to a couple of magnet high schools. And for one of them, they have to do a project that talks all about who they are, that just kind of shows the selection committee who they are. And it's really kind of the epitome of keep making shit, because it can be however they want. It can be something they write, it could be a dance, it could be an art project that they make. So my son is making a collage with different cutouts of all sorts of pictures that kind of define him. He's actually working on it right now. And then his twin, my daughter, we are choreographing a dance together. She's a dancer like I am, and she's danced since she was like 4. And we are choreographing just a little 2 or 3 minute dance that kind of takes a ride through like her history as a person. I was telling her, as a mom, I've seen you grow from this very, very shy, introverted, I mean, almost painfully shy child that wouldn't physically let go of me to go into preschool, to like now she's 13 and she's just so confident and has all these friends and is totally tenacious, absolutely tenacious when it comes to dance and theater
Runs
and
in the family.
auditioning. Totally. She is just, you see none of that when she's on stage. She is like at home, she's in her body, she knows who she is. And so we're kind of telling the story through that of, she kind of starts off at the beginning with these very small movements, and then she's slowly coming out of her shell. And so just to be able to make that period would be amazing, but to make it with her
Oh,
and to see yourself reflected in your child. And then
yes.
it is so, I don't even know the right words, because it's all the things at once. It's like fulfilling and gratifying, but bittersweet too,
Of
because it's like
course.
especially as a dancer, it's not the same being a dancer at 43, my age.
Right.
And, like you're coming towards the end of all that. And then someone else who's just coming into it. It is just, I think of that quote like that I just read. It's kind of like one of those, what do you call it? Like the miserable privilege, because
Right.
it's not just one thing. That's not just happy to watch, to do that with her. It is a kind of torture, but it's also wonderful. So
Mm-hmm.
that is my very deep, my deep
I
shit that I've been making this
love
week.
it. It needs a Mary Poppins soundtrack to go behind it with
Yes,
some bittersweet music.
totally.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So now, will this be filmed? How's it gonna
Yeah.
work?
Yeah. So we just film it and then she submits it with her application. And they're actually applying to 2 different schools. So with one of them, everything is just submitted online. And then the other one, she'll have to do it in person if she's selected. They
Does
go
that mean
through a
you'll have
round.
to do it in person too?
No, no, it's all her. But yeah,
Oh,
part of it is preparing her for that, of like, okay, it's just like what Tara had to do in the show. Like,
That's
here's
right.
what happens if you fall down, and you're not going to fall apart. You just keep going, you work with
Yeah.
it, and it's all part of it. So yeah.
Turns out what really makes an artist is just not stopping.
I mean, I think that is the damn truth. It's
And
Kathy
even if you
Griffin talks
stop for
about
a
that.
long ass time, it's
Mhm.
just like, if you feel that urge to make some stuff, make it.
That's right. And
Make it.
however you want to make it, it doesn't even
Oh,
have to be for anyone else but yourself. It can just
exactly.
be scratching an itch that needs to be scratched. But Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this I think in Big Magic that we were talking about last time in her book about creativity,
Yeah.
that the other side of that is if you don't use that creativity, the talent that you have in you, because of whatever reason, you don't think it's good enough, or you can't
Right.
sell it, or you're too old, or whatever,
Right.
it becomes a burden. It becomes a burden that
Oh,
weighs you down. And, I think it
yeah.
is
Like a
double-sided, that
bitterness almost.
absolutely, because there
I
is
mean,
something in you that needs to come out and express itself. And if you deny that, there are consequences to it.
Hitler. Hitler was a blocked
That's right.
artist. He went to art school and they shut him down.
Yeah.
And look what he did. You better accept everyone into your art school. You better not tell anyone they're a loser. You better give everyone an appreciation ribbon, or we're gonna get another Hitler on our hands. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
but there is some truth to it, right? I mean, you
I
don't
think it
you
is what
don't
it
think
is.
that
We
way.
can't avoid the pain of life, like
Right.
shit's gonna happen to people, but it's all about what you do with it.
That's
But
right.
guys, it's a lot more fun to make some art or music or do a little writing or dance or anything, or chop some wood or make a soup,
Mhm.
than it is to start the Third Reich.
Just,
Gonna feel better in the end, and it's a lot less work, honestly.
totally. Who has time to like come up with a new uniform? And they always have some sassy little march that goes with it. That's
Right.
just turn that into the next
Fourth
one-man
Fourth
show.
Reich, everyone's just gonna be like
It's just
comparing it to the last Reich.
right. It's never as good. Just don't do it. Just go and paint something.
Please.
And tell us about it once you do. Even though we're going
Yeah.
to be on our little break, we still want to hear about the shit
Yeah,
you
we're
have
gonna
made.
be we're gonna still be checking that email.
That's right. leslieandthedragqueen@gmail.com. Real quick, Candi, before we get out of here, I
Yeah.
just wanted to share a couple of awesome reviews that we got.
Reviews.
We have some lovely reviews.
Ooh.
I know. These are from Apple Podcasts, but you can review us wherever you want. It all helps so much
Shout it
for,
from the rooftops.
yes, and tell a friend. That's really the best way to get the word out. So this one comes from Hee Chandler, and the title is Laughing Out Loud. Appropriate. Hee is laughing out loud. So this person said, Leslie and Candi have great chemistry. During my time off between Christmas and New Year's, I always do some extreme cleaning. Today I was excited to get back at it, as I had Leslie and Candi to spend the day with. As I was painting and scrubbing, I was laughing out loud. I'm very sad that I have to wait 2 more weeks for the next podcast.
Oh,
Isn't that great? I love that.
Chandler.
So sweet. Here's another one from Rocky Lou that says, fabulous. Leslie and Candi rock. They represent the world today. Give them a listen.
Oh,
I think we do represent the world today, don't you, Candi?
yeah, I think we're covering a swath, albeit a rather white swath, but we're still
That is true. We want to
season 3. We're
talk to
going to
that.
get some representation going on in here, but we're all representing something, and I think you and I both represent groups that generally people would not think overlap.
Yes.
Like
That's kind of what I was thinking.
not just being a mother, but being like a real mom. You're part of the culture. You're part of the mom culture.
Yeah.
And that, and the world of drag, I mean, sadly these days it's been kind of like forces have been trying to work to push those two groups apart, and with good
Yes.
reason too, because when we team up, we become very powerful.
You don't want to get the mamas and the drag queens together, y'all. You're
No.
not ready.
No,
It's
because
like Leslie and the
the-
drag queen on
yeah.
crack.
the drag queens are going to tell the women what they're worth, and the moms are going to tell the drag queens how to get what they want, and then we're going to take over.
That's right. So yeah, they got to keep us apart, but not for long. It didn't work on
No.
us, and
didn't
it's
work
not
on
going to
us.
work on everyone else out there.
Nope.
We're just going
Nope.
to keep on keeping on.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Guys, thank you for making 2022 such a rockin' end of that year, such a
Yes.
great bookend, and I'm so excited to see you guys in the new year.
Same here. Thank you all so much for being here. It has been awesome. We can't wait for season 2. Hit us up with your suggestions, and we will catch you then.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoying the show? Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Help us spread the word by rating and reviewing the show. And tell a friend while you're at it. Got a story for the humiliation station or for our Keep Making Shit segment? Send it to us at leslieandthedragqueen@gmail.com or on any of our socials, and you could be featured on an upcoming episode. You can find Leslie and the Drag Queen on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.